Hello, bright, beautiful, beloved soul friends. Welcome to another Conversations with Kristin. Thank you so much for being here. What a sacred, beautiful, healing journey through life we are all on together. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being you. Today I would like to talk about connecting with our inner experiencer. And this is like super mega magical, super mega important, super mega awesome for any kind of healing journey through life. No matter who you are, where you're at, what the particulars are, this is going to be a really helpful piece of nugget of knowledge for your healing journey. So stick around. We're going to hang out and talk through all of this. So consciousness, there's this whole, right? There's this 100% of consciousness, and consciousness is self-essence. Consciousness is who you are. Consciousness is who I am. Consciousness is the part of us that is our identity, worth, and potential. And consciousness is separate from neurobiology. They're two distinct energetic components who interact with one another to produce uniquely individualized styles of personal life experience, okay? So inside of you, right here, right now, you've got neurobiology and you've got consciousness, and they're interacting together, but they're not the same thing, okay? So your consciousness, only 5% of it is what you can directly perceive. And that's your conscious awareness or your observational self. Okay, about 5% is what you can know about. The other 95% of your consciousness, which, let's be clear, that's the majority. It's a lot. It's most of you, most of me. 95% of our consciousness exists and operates beyond all direct perception and immediate awareness. And it is comprised of parts of consciousness, or your inner experiencer. And it's the parts of you who are directly encountering life experience. And so the conscious awareness observes life, but the conscious awareness does not directly experience things. All of the actual sensations of experience are happening with parts of consciousness. Okay? So they're separate, they interact, but they're distinct energetic components. And it's important to clarify that. Okay, so for example, when there's a feeling of hunger, when you say, I am hungry, the I am in that context is the observational self who is articulating life experience. From another perspective, I am is your whole consciousness. So either way goes. But for this example, the I am there is the part of the consciousness who's observing what's happening. And so the sensation of hunger is occurring with parts of consciousness because they are directly experiencing life. The I, in this context anyway, is the observational self who's narrating and describing and articulating what's happening from a space of observation. It's up here in the watchtower like, what's going on? Okay, I'm noticing a feeling of hunger. I must be hungry. That's kind of what's happening, okay? But in that example, the observational self is blending with the inner experiencer. And so there's no distinction. There's no distinction between the observational self or the inner experiencer or the consciousness and the experience processed through neurobiology. And so one fun way to play with this is to shift the narration of your automated life experience and reclaim authority within the story of it. And when you start with small stuff, then you can use it for the bigger stuff where deeper change is what you really want. And so when you get hungry, for example, play with it. Just play with it. Open yourself up to play. And instead of saying, I'm hungry to yourself, be like, I'm noticing my consciousness experience a sensation of hunger through the processing of my brain and my body. How fascinating. Just play with it. And the more you expand that space of presence, the more you reclaim power. Because once you have the ability to observe your consciousness within experience, you have complete power to rewire your brain. And so this is a really great first step to reclaiming that power so that you have it for the bigger stuff. Because if you can observe your consciousness in small sensations of hunger or coldness, or, you step outside and you feel a chill and you're like, I'm cold. Wait, no, I'm not cold. I'm noticing my consciousness feel a sensational experience of coldness through the processing of my neurobiology. Play with it, have fun. But the more you can grow that capacity, the more you can have that ability for when the tougher stuff comes up. Like if you're having a panic attack, for example, the ability for your observational self to observe your inner experiencer in the experience gives you the power to rewire the brain so that your body no longer experiences panic attacks. Like at all. Like they can stop for good. It is a gradual process. Please note, it takes time and continued effort. But I'm talking they can be completely gone. Not just like reduced or suppressed or temporarily whatever. I'm talking the core reason that the panic attacks are being produced can be transformed and they can stop altogether for the rest of your life. That's the power that you have. And again, it's a gradual process. But isn't it so worth investing in when you know that that's possible? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that so worth investing in? I think so. I'm sure glad I invested in it. It's nice to not have crippling panic attacks all the time. Like, just saying, it's totally worth it. It's totally worth something. It's something worth fighting for. It's something worth working at. It's something worth investing in. I promise you. I guarantee it's worth the investment. Okay? So we've got our observational self, and we've got our inner experiencer, and that's consciousness. And then we have our neurobiology who's processing all the things of life experience, okay? So notice yourself in hunger. Notice yourself when you feel a chill or oh, it's warm in here. I'm noticing my consciousness experience a sensation of warmth within the atmosphere. Like instead of just saying, I'm hot, you know? Like play with it. See how much space you can create between your observational self and your inner experiencer, because then you have power to be there for your inner experiencer. And once consciousness comes together, all of the brain and body can be rewired. For example, memories, past memories heal themselves when consciousness is present and no longer stuck in the memory systems. Okay? So memories, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. Like actually applying this can look different. There's several different modalities and they're all equally valid. It's important to find, you know, what resonates and what actually works best for you and where you're at and what vibes with you, what produces the healing results that you desire and meets you where you're at and everything. But, you know, as an abstract umbrella of summary, when the conscious awareness can help parts of consciousness come to the present moment and not be stuck inside of the memories, because again, memories are part of the neurobiology. They're separate from the consciousness. So you rescue the parts from the memories, bring them into the present. The brain and the body actually heal the memory systems themselves. They naturally integrate, which is what they were always intended to do. But when things of emotional intensity or dysregulation arise, memories don't totally gain those neural connections, and then things can get a little chaotic. Understatement, right? So one way to heal past memories is to welcome your consciousness into the present moment and just keep doing that again and again, because once consciousness is freed from the memory systems, the memories actually have a chance to naturally heal and gain some new connections so that they're not so problematic. Okay, so connecting with our inner experiencer. So we have our observational self, our conscious awareness, and then we have the 95% of our parts of consciousness comprising our inner experiencer, who are the aspects of our self-essence directly encountering life experience. And so when we move through life, it's easy to focus on the experience or just focus on what we're directly aware of. But in either of those scenarios, we're missing out on connecting with 95% of ourselves, the self we truly are. And so as we move through life, I really just encourage you to connect with your inner experiencer, because your observational self is not all of you. There's so much more going on. And the you that you are is more important than the experience that you're going through. Your consciousness is more important than what the consciousness is moving through in experience. Always take time to connect with your inner experiencer. The parts of your consciousness are worth connecting with. And life gets a lot better when we have connection with the self that we truly are. Our parts of consciousness just want to be seen. They just want to be known. They just want to be recognized and appreciated. And we can love them through presence with them. We can love our parts of consciousness by just being present with them. And so, for example, a little everyday thing, when you're unloading the dishwasher or some similar, household task or whatever, your observational self is just kind of noticing what you're doing. And maybe it's, boring and you're doing this, or maybe your mind's kind of traveling to places and you're, planning something out, or you're thinking through something that happened yesterday or whatever. And you're kind of just going through the motions or whatever. Instead of having that automated experience, I really encourage you to take time to connect with your inner experiencer, the parts of you having direct encounters with life experience beyond your awareness. And so when your mind is drifting into thoughts, your observational self is connecting with neurobiological projections instead of your inner experiencer or your parts of consciousness. And in that case, your parts are completely abandoned. They're not seen at all. They're not invited into the conversation of what's happening. They're just kind of experiencing things without connection to the self who is aware, the self who can observe. And if the mind's kind of just like, this is boring, I'm just going to do it and get it done, same thing's happening. There's dismissal of the parts of consciousness. It's because of your parts of consciousness that you can apply the muscle memory, knowing how to pick up dishes, knowing how to organize them in the cupboard, knowing how to recognize this is a fork, this is a spoon, that goes here, that goes there. Those basic everyday tasks are miracles happening through your neurobiological applications of consciousness as data within your unconscious memory systems are projected into your parts of consciousness who provide the tools for self-essence to have all these skill sets and abilities to unload the dishwasher. Like, it's miraculous. It's profound beyond words. Without your inner experiencer and without that connection, you would not be able to unload the dishwasher. And so taking time to just appreciate ourselves in the experience rather than dismissing it or, redirecting elsewhere. If you're trying to get a project done, the conscious self might be focused on the experience. I need to do this and get there. But anytime we're trying to get there instead of be here on the journey to there, we're dismissing our inner experiencer. And so it's important to take time and connect with ourselves in the experience. It's not just about getting over there. It's about being here and being here and being here and being here and being present. And then eventually we get to where we want to go. But when our intention, our focus is to get there, we're dismissing presence, which reduces our power and disconnects aspects of our consciousness. Okay? All right? You with me, soul friends? You tracking with this? You tracking with me? Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you just being here right now. I really appreciate you just being here right now. Go ahead and take a moment and just give yourself a big hug, okay? Like, do me a favor and just shower yourself with a little love, okay? Just like, me, I'm so glad I exist. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being alive. Thank you for being here. Yeah! Okay, can you do that for me? Awesome. Thank you for hugging yourself and pouring a little love into your being on my behalf. I really appreciate it. So take time to connect with your inner experiencer. It's not just about the experience. The experience is not who you are. Of course it matters because we're in this life experience, right? Obviously it's something to be connected with. But what matters even more is the experiencer, that is you. The consciousness you are within the experience. And so when you're trying to get a task done, instead of looking at the end goal, look at where you are and appreciate yourself in the experience. When you're doing anything, whether it's unloading a dishwasher or working on a project or even, taking a shower or brushing your teeth or going for a walk or driving somewhere, instead of only focusing on where you're trying to go, focus on the you who is having the experience exactly where you are. The observational self has power in presence. And when the observational self can connect with parts of consciousness, that power is amplified. So much so that there's ability to rewire any part of the neurobiology. And there's ability to influence the styles of personally unfolding life experiences. You always have the power. From a place of power, you have the ability to shift where you focus, how you perceive, how you respond, the amount of playfulness you can have in situations, the amount of love you can feel in your beings, the amount of empowering encouragement you can give yourself. There's so many benefits that can aid any healing journey through life. So whether you're, recovering from some intense stuff, or you're healing into the direction of your dreams, or you're, improving your relationship with yourself, or you're improving your relationship with others, or you're on a spiritual healing journey, a mental health healing journey, a physical healing journey, any kind of healing journey can benefit from reclaiming personal power, grounding in the observational self, and connecting the conscious awareness with parts of consciousness, the inner experiencer, so that the self-essence can be united and together and present and prioritized, because then it's distinct from life experience, and the neurobiology producing personal life experience can be rewired so that everything can be transformed. Consciousness is liberated, neurobiology is rewired, life experience transforms from the inside out, and we uncover the true self-essence that we are, which is divine perfection. So friends, you are divine perfection beneath all the layers of neurobiological data being projected into your experience. And so when you can ground in the observational self by observing your consciousness within experience, you have power within all of it, and your entire storybook of life is in your hands. How you experience yourself and the world will completely change, and you will have the power to choose how that changes. Pretty exciting stuff, hustle friends. Pretty radically revolutionary, wonderful, miraculous, uplifting stuff. I love this so much. It's so powerful, and it truly helps any kind of healing journey through life. Everyone can benefit from this magic. Thank you so much for being here, soul friends. Thank you for being you. If you'd ever like to connect through a consciousness consulting call, I would be honored to dive deeper into your personal healing journey and connect with you one-on-one. You can discover more about this opportunity or book a session with me at the link below. It's KristinWindsor.com. KristinWindsor.com. Just check it out. Never hurts to take a peek, right? You never know what magic we might discover. I also have several self-guided healing journey programs, and I even have a new one called Delicious Magic. It's a 1-hour play shop that guides you through cooking some radically delicious dishes, and it actually walks you through that process in a style that allows you to rewire your brain in the process, so that all parts of you can be free to experience the present moment, know greater grounded presence, deeper love, and ecstatic self-celebration. You have this opportunity to feed your mind, body, and spirit in one go of things, and it makes a whole bunch of different delicious dishes, yes. And then we get to hang out because it's a super magical, fun video, and we just spend time together, and it's awesome. And then you can reuse it and learn this new skill and rewire your brain and have all this awesome food prep and feed your body super healthy, magical, awesome, delicious stuff, and it's just mega awesome. So I have a bunch of different self-guided healing journey programs: healing into happiness, sailing through consciousness, restoring consciousness, implicit transformation, and they're in all kinds of price ranges and all kinds of particulars, so you can find what fits best for you. And when you go to that link, I also have 2 free books for you guys, because I love you and I believe in you and I want to pour loving empowerment into you no matter what. So there's 2 free books you can download. They're on the same page as the self-guided healing journey programs, and it takes you to the little freebies page. So please feel free to check out those magical, awesome links. I would love to share all of that healing magic with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for hanging out on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, or you got anything from it, or you just anything, I would love if you would hit that hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate your support on my channel as I continue to share the healing journey messages that I have gained along my own personal healing journey. Thank you so much for being here. I believe in you infinitely. Every part of your consciousness is worthy of loving liberation into infinite moments of happily ever after. You always have power within yourself, your identity, and your experience. You have so much more power than you know, and you are worth so much more than you know. Trust me, soul friends. Trust me. Have a beautiful and blessed day, soul friends. Namaste. The love and light in my divine consciousness. See and honor the love and light in your divine consciousness. Have a glory-filled day, soul friends, and I will see you next time.